All right, folks, welcome to part 2 of the Dead Drift Consulting gear list kind of rundown. We went through a bunch of stuff on part 1. These are the last few items here. I wanted to split it up to make it easier to view in parts, and then also because my camera limits me to 30 minutes at a time, which is a little ridiculous. Anyhow, let's get into just a couple more things here, and then we'll call it a day. So, when we were talking about water treatment, I talked about those Aquamira water treatment drops, and that came out of this pouch right here. So this is what is called my possibles pouch, and that is, it's got a few things in here, a few items in here that account for something that may possibly happen. Okay, not things that I'm going to use every single day or all the time or frequently, but if something tears, something breaks, I need to glue something back together or mark my position or whatever, like, you know, some of those things are in this little pouch. So in addition to the Aquamira water treatment drops, tenacious tape. It's a clear, super sticky, waterproof, durable repair tape. Use this on rain gear, which I already have. Rain gear, sleeping bags, tents, tarps, your pack, whatever it is that you may need, as long as it's a reasonably, I mean, if it's a giant tear, that's one thing, but as long as if it's a reasonably something to you can deal with, this tape is awesome. It's made by a company called Gear Aid, I believe, and I think it's available even at places like Bass Pro and Cabela's, so it's not like a specialized piece of whatever, but it is a valuable addition and not something that you should overlook. So, tenacious tape. Gorilla tape, I don't need this much because I also run a number of wraps around the top of one of my trekking poles, but this tape right here actually fixed my my bow sling on day 3 or day 4 of my hunt last September, when I lost one of the little knurled nuts that actually secures one end of the bow sling. Well, I depend on that bow sling quite a bit when I shoot. So I repaired it with this stuff and kind of saved the day. Regular non-surgical, non-sterile super glue. Extra mantles for my little lantern. Some small fix-it parts, a launcher and a spring and some other stuff in here for my arrow rest. Several straps that act as compression straps or lash down straps for my pack that I can use to secure something. A couple of chemical light chem lights, right? Chemical lighting sticks. So I've only got 2 of them in here, but I figure like if I need to get someone's attention, whether it's for a rescue or whatever, and it's dark, these may come in handy. So I just throw a couple in there. Waterproof matches. These are those long burn waterproof matches. Kind of a last ditch effort thing because I carry multiple fire starting methods. This is just one of them, but I don't intend to use these unless I absolutely have to. But it's a good little package, small and lightweight, that fits in my possible pouch, and that goes in there. Well, I used it already, but a small length of D-loop material for my bowstring. And then some chapstick stuff that also doubles great as string wax from Burt's Bees. Little things like this. I may add or subtract stuff to this. Like I'm going to probably get rid of this roll of tape since I have some on my trekking poles already. But be careful with this because the what if fairy can just really eat you alive when it comes to something like this, and you can wind up with a possibles pouch that weighs 3 pounds and doesn't need to at all. So keep those things in mind. Kill kit. This is something that's like my first aid kit, is always in my bag whenever I leave camp. So the kill kit, and there's multiple versions out there, so take your pick, or you can build your own like I did right here. Game bags. So these are the tag bags, boned out meat bags right here. This is at least, I think this is one. Yeah, this is one. One extra caribou gear bag that's kind of cloth-like, and I use this one as a pillow. So I will take this out of the kill kit and Open it up, stuff my puffy jacket in there, and it actually feels like a pillow with a pillowcase, which is kind of cozy. Some MSR guy line cord for tying things up or whatever I need to. Some marking tape. So as you're tracking something and you want to keep an eye, have a visual reference of where you are and where you're going, or where you were, marking tape. I have a number of rubber gloves in here that I'm not even sure if I really need. And then I have a smaller fixed blade knife, which goes with the larger version of the match set. These are made by Milmac Blades. So Milmac AZ, right here. This guy is a personal friend of mine. He's a SWAT officer here in Phoenix. We served together for 7 years on that team, and we're partnered together. Well, he has built quite a reputation and quite a business making his own knives. This is one of the very first ones that he made, and he put this together at my request as a short-bladed hunter, and it's been bomber. That's like 3/16 inch steel along the spine. This one's I think 1/4 inch. It's a little bit smaller, but I keep the smaller one in the kill kit as kind of a caping knife. Now, in addition to this, I also carry a Taito knife, which is a replaceable blade, surgical, sharp, whatever. I carry one of those as well, but I am a fan of fixed blade knives and strongly believe that you should have a fixed blade knife with you in the field all the time, because there are things that a fixed blade can do that one of those replaceable blade, either a Taito or a Havilon, something like that, cannot do. So I'm giving this, I'm pimping these guys out right now, Milmac Blades, because I believe in them and they're super strong. And that's beside the fact that he's a personal friend of mine. But yeah, take a look if you haven't already. The bino case here, always on my body. So I've gone through this on a separate video where I talked about what's in there. But this is also where I keep that Taito knife, a replaceable blade knife, my hunting license, a lens pen, wind checker, small headlamp, elk calls that are in an old dip container right here, and then in addition to that, of course, the binoculars that are inside the pack. And a laser rangefinder here on the side. All right, let's talk about sleep systems a little bit. So I have been a fan of floorless tarp shelters for quite a while now, several years now, and I have used one literally in every outdoor adventure I've been on in probably the last 4 years. The one that I have chosen to run, and the one that I believe in the most right now at least, is the Kifaru Supertarp. Now, Kifaru is, again, the official pack system, load bearing system of Dead Drift Consulting, and they were chosen for a reason. I asked them if I could represent their company through my company because of my faith and my experience, long experience with their packs. Well, the tarp is no exception. It winds up being palatial for a one-man show. It's super fast to pitch. It's floorless, so I don't have to worry about some of those things, some of those other issues. And there's what's called an annex, which is another word for vestibule. This fits on the front and provides a door on the tarp sort of teepee shape, or not teepee, but the tarp tent shape. So Super Tarp and the Annex, highly recommended, super versatile. I've used it in all kinds of stuff, including very high wind, and then anywhere, it's been in the snow and rainstorms with me. It has been at high altitudes above 11,000 feet all the way down to, whatever it is around here, 1,000 feet around here. I can't recommend it enough. With that in mind, tent stakes are kind of critical. Don't go to Walmart and buy shitty tent stakes. Don't go to REI and buy shitty tent stakes. What I want you to do is I want you to look specifically at the MSR groundhogs. These things are kind of like a three-bladed design. They are extremely durable, very long-lasting, reliable tent stakes. I've tried similar ones that have this same shape, and they've literally broken right here at the top, just hammering them in with a rock. Never had that problem with one of these, like never. So my faith in these is very, very high, and I don't have a reason to look for another tent stake, because these things have done everything I've ever asked them to and been exceptional. So MSR groundhogs, take a look at those. sleeping bag. This is a Kifaru slick bag. This is a Kifaru slick bag. This is a 20-degree bag. It is synthetic insulation, a center zip design, so when you're laying on your back looking straight up, the zipper goes right down the center of your body, which is super convenient and easy to sit around in if you're sitting up. The material they use on the inside and outside shell of this bag is extremely durable stuff that I think is called rhino skin, I believe. Anyway, this bag is specifically designed as a sleeping bag that you can get into with like your full kit on. So boots and all your hunting clothing, whether you're dry or wet, the Apex insulation that's used, synthetic insulation that's used in these, will insulate when wet. One of the big advantages of synthetic insulation. Don't overlook that. This is the 20 degree, like I said. This is a regular length wide version of it, and it fits into what this is a 5-string compression sack from Kifaru. So look into that unless you have something already in mind. This is a couple of products from Nemo here. This is their Philo pillow, which I found to be very comfortable and easily adjustable in terms of like firmness. It is a little bit on the large side, but whatever. And then this year I'm moving to a Nemo Tensor insulated sleeping pad. The one I had before, which I was very satisfied with, is the Thermarest Neo Air. What I can't remember it's the warm one. Okay, it's the one that has the metallic film in there and is insulated and whatever else, and that thing has been bomber. Super awesome. My problem with that is it's a 20 inch wide pad. This one is a 25, and those extra 5 inches for a side and stomach sleeper like me who also has horrible shoulders, that extra width is going to make a difference. That's why I'm running that one this year. Inside this little gray sack is a one-man bivy. It's like a bivy sack. It is a bivy sack. Waterproof on the bottom, E-vent fabric on the top, which allows it to breathe and get and release moisture. But in a floorless tarp, this thing can save my bacon because I'm inside of a lightweight sort of standalone shelter by itself while I'm sleeping on the ground. All of that, with except for the sleeping bag, goes into like a pump sack. All right, so this thing right here, it has a little hole down here on the bottom that you stretch over the valve of whatever it is you're trying to inflate, like your sleeping pad. And then all it does is you trap air in the bag and roll it down, and as you continue to compress it, all that air comes out, that hole goes right into the pad. Now, is that a big deal? Well, at 10,000 or 11,000 feet, yes it is. Okay, so I'm happy to take whatever time it takes to use that with my sleeping pad, as opposed to hyperventilating at 11,000 feet and falling over. So so that's that. The last thing I think I had down here, if I'm anticipating very wet conditions or I know I'm going to be in an area that where having a ground cloth would be an advantage, I use a sheet of Tyvek. So this is something that I just you can find this on Amazon, but I just bought it at Home Depot and then cut it to the right size, and then I threw it in the washing machine and ran it through the washer, and then kind of hang dried it outside just to soften it up and make it more manageable, because otherwise it's a pretty stiff sort of, it's like having a giant sheet of construction paper. Yeah, you can fold it, but it wants to not be folded, I guess. So by softening it up and getting it a little wrinkly and crinkly and whatever else, it makes it easier to fold and stick into places and to actually utilize. I'll lay that down on the ground, and then my sleeping, and then the bivy goes on top of it, or just the sleeping mat and then the bag. So that's been real good, and it's super lightweight, and it sticks inside there real small. One of the things I don't think I went over were these little plate things. So this is a company or a product called Fozzils, Fozzils, and I found these on Amazon also, again at the recommendation of a buddy. So these things are pretty neat because they're just little flat squares that take up zero space. They weigh probably 2 ounces, and you can just slide them inside your pack. In this configuration, being flat, you can use this as a cutting board because this is that plastic material that they actually make cutting boards out of. However, once you're ready to eat, this becomes a plate, okay? And then in the morning when you're making oatmeal, you snap these 4 little deals together, and suddenly you have a bowl or a coffee cup or whatever it is you want to put in there. Super handy, super lightweight, very packable, very inexpensive. I think this whole set, the set of 2 of them was like maybe $10. I don't remember what the hell it was. I got them a while ago. But kind of neat and a solution to maybe a problem. All right, so that pretty much does it for what I would normally throw in a pack to prepare for either a fly fishing, a backpack fly fishing trip, or a hunt where I'm hunting out of a pack. It's relatively simple. It's not overly complicated, but you know there's definitely some thought that goes into this stuff. There's nothing wrong with being a little bit OCD and not taking anything for granted and writing everything down. And sometimes it's better to do this sooner rather than later because it allows you to review something, not feel like you're in a rush, maybe have a question, research something else, and then replace it if that winds up being, if there's a better solution out there. So don't take anything for granted. Yes, you can absolutely pack too much, and sometimes a list like this tells you that because you look at it and you go like, holy shit, I got 4 pages worth of stuff. Do I really need all this stuff? I will go into clothing on another video because clothing is a thing on its own, and if there are 2 areas where people wind up overdoing it, it's clothing and food, and both of those things are bulky and weigh a ton. So we'll address those things, I guess, more in detail, maybe on a different video, because they deserve that standalone time so that I'm not trying to rush through something. Anyhow, thank you for watching. DeadDriftConsulting.com is our website. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, what you're watching it on now, those 3 are all under Dead Drift Consulting. And then if you have a question or whatever, feel free to get a hold of me via the contact page on the website. Jeff@DeadDriftConsulting.com is the email address. And I'm here to help you out with whatever I can. I'm not here to profess or to be like Mr. Expert or to be a celebrity. I'm here because I want to help people like my bro in Indiana who is trying to be as successful as he can from the get-go, from the beginning, and truly that is what sets you up for success regardless. So for guys like him and maybe for you, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again next time. Thanks a bunch.